Namaste everyone and welcome to another edition of the Ramanand Sagar Ramayan review. My name is Pradeep and I am the dad.
My name is Vishala and I am the daughter.
And today, before we start, Vishala, we have a little bit of feedback. We had a very nice review and said, I absolutely love this show. The content they cover is different from anything else I've heard. They focus on the shows I watched as a child and share stories from Hindu scriptures that I haven't heard for a long time. Keep up the great work. For the rest of you, thank you for your emails that you've been sending to us. I want to thank you all for your reviews, for your words of encouragement. If you haven't as yet, please take a moment to review the podcast on the service of your choice. Doing that will help us a great deal to get the word spread about the podcast. But if you can't do that, no worries. If you just listen, that goes a long way to help us. And once again, thank you so much. So Vishala, which episode is this that we're listening to?
Episode 4.
Season 1, episode 4, right. And what is the title of that episode?
Vishwamitra comes to Ayodhya and Ram kills Tadka with
Rakshasi.
Rakshasi.
Yeah, she is a Rakshas, female Rakshas, so it's called a Rakshasi. The IMDB description is: Return to Ayodhya, Vishwamitra requests King Dashrath for his son Rama to accompany him. Rama slays Tadka. Vishwamitra bestows divine weapons upon Rama. Warfare of Rama and Lakshman with Subahu and Mareech. It has an awesome rating of 9 stars. The original air date of this was the 15th of February, 1987. And where can viewers find this episode of the Ramayana to watch?
On YouTube.
Yep, it's available on YouTube. And we will also post a link on the show notes. And we are getting ready to start posting these links also on our website, thehindupod.com. That's thehindupod.com. So you can check back there for updates and links to the show. So Vishala, what are your overall thoughts about this episode?
It was a lot. To me, it was a lot more easier to understand than the last episode. Like, I felt like I was able to relax and just be able to watch it a lot better than the last one.
It's more story than philosophy,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, so it's easier to pick up.
What about you?
I loved it. It feels like the story is really getting started, and I'm really excited to see Ram Katha take off. I'm looking forward to it. So Vishala, if you are ready, why don't you go ahead and get started with the review? I will jump in where I can.
Okay. So the episode starts with the princes returning from Gurukul, and the whole kingdom they're cheering and they're playing music and they're watching as the princes are coming back. And back in the palace, the queens they're talking about the princes and describing them, and they're all excited. And Kaushalya, she refuses to go out and see them because she's filled with so much excitement and joy. It's overwhelming for her. She can't take it. It's so much for her.
Yeah, it's like she's got an anxiety. She's so nervous about actually seeing them.
So the queens hear that the princes are being taken to the queen's chamber instead of to them, and they want to see them. And so the princes meet with their father, and they immediately bow to his feet.
Right, so there's a lot of protocol that's happening here while all of this is happening. So as the chariot is coming in, you see the 2 people on the watchtower and they're blowing the shankar, right? And then as Vishwamitra, he walks into the palace, there's also another set of shankars that's being blown, and he's first, followed by Rama and then the other brothers, right? He is there and he is returning Rama. He is still in charge of these 4 boys, and he is returning them to their parents. So this is why he is taking the lead. He is still in charge, and he is walking them to their home. The shankar in our culture, it's a very important thing. it signifies multiple things. Like in a war, if you listen to the stories of the Mahabharata war, when Bhishma and Dronacharya and Duryodhana and all of them, they're on one side and they're blowing their shanka. They're trying to strike fear into the other side and let them know we have might. This loud, heavy roar. So that's what it's supposed to do. And Sri Krishna and Arjuna and the Pandavas on the other side, they start blowing their shankas and they're trying to do the exact same thing. It's supposed to strike fear into the other side, whether it be demonic forces or whatever it is. It's also there to announce something. There's something important that's happening. So we have the Shankar being blown for that as well, right? And it's also blown for victory. So in puja, a lot of times when we blow it, we say Jai, we blow the Shankar. So the Shankar you can see from since back then, this is in Treta Yuga, it was being used, right? So the princes led by Guru Vashishta, they enter the palace, and they first go to
Their father.
Yeah, they first go to Raja Dashrath.
Vashishta explains that he's taught the princes everything that they need to know, and he's not ready to give them back to Dashrath. And soon the queens arrive, and they're saying how they can't wait any longer. They need to see their sons. Vashishta says how he was informed to bring the boys to them first, but forgot due to royal protocol.
Right, so Guru Ma warns him before he leaves the ashram, make sure you take the boys to their mothers first, because she sees it through the eyes of a mother, and she knows that the mothers are going to be desperate to see the child. And yet, Guru Vashishta goes to Raja Dashrath first, because royal protocol says that he needs to go and he needs to hand over the boys back to their father, and he needs to tell them, tell Raja Dashrath rather, that these are the things that I have trained them in, these are the things that they are proficient in, and this is what you can expect from them, right? So first thing he's doing, he's following that dharma, and he totally forgets that the mothers want to see them. But the mothers are doing their dharma, and they're saying, I want to see my son, so they show up.
Vashishta goes to Ram and tells him how a mother is beyond God and the teacher, one who serves her devoutly.
Yes, devoutly, yep.
One who serves her devoutly will be worshipped by the gods.
Yes, so this is the greatness of the mother in Sanatan Dharma. It is said that the mother is considered to be greater than God himself. If you ignore your mother, it doesn't even make sense doing any puja, doing any prayers. The first deity that you should worship is your mother.
So he tells Ram to go pay his respects to his mother by bowing at her feet, and he immediately listens and does so.
Right, so you notice that there's a hierarchy here still, right? So Rama goes first. And then when Rama is done,
the other princes
then the other boys go.
Yeah.
And this is not because he is Rama. This is because he's the eldest son. So in our culture, the eldest son has a very special place. He's considered to be like a parent himself in the house. He is given these roles and these responsibilities and these benefits. So he's treated with priority. So this is what you're seeing here. Sri Rama, he has priority over all the others, and he's fulfilling that role as the eldest son.
After he bows to his mother's feet, the rest of the princes follow and do the same thing.
Exactly. So you notice how the moms are?
Well, I mean, they're seeing their son for the first time in years, so right, they're probably really emotional.
Yeah, they're very, very emotional. This is the first time in 10, 11 years that they're seeing their sons, and they haven't seen them since, they were 7 years old. So in their heads, these are like brand new children to them, and they're trying they're literally looking at them and trying to make them out as to who they actually are. They have to relearn these children all over again.
The scene cuts to them eating, and Ram, he doesn't want to eat. He's like refusing the food, and his mother keeps telling him like, please eat, like this I don't know why I don't know why I liked this part a lot, but like his mother was like, please eat, and like she kept asking him, and he like wouldn't, and she had to literally feed him. I don't know why, but like when she fed him, like the sight of her feeding him looked like was really like
Right,
it looked really
and
nice
that
to
is
me.
perhaps part of his Leela as well, to give his mother the opportunity to feed him. Remember, he is God.
Mhm.
He is Bhagavan himself, and he gives Mother Kaushalya the opportunity to take her own hands and feed him. So this could be a part of his Leela as well. But it's so nice to see they're still looking at them as though they're 7 years old. The mothers are treating them as though they're 7 years old, and Raja Dashrath is saying, hey, these are big grown men. What are you doing
Yeah.
feeding them with your hand? And they tell him, well, just leave us alone. These are our kids. We're going to feed them how we want to feed them.
Mhm. The next scene shows them bathing the princes, and they were seeing how they must bathe and look nice before
Right. So you notice they have the soft skin, and then when they're done, I think his mother Kaushalya says, okay, rub some sandalwood now. So the purpose of that, we still do that today when we get married in on the Hindu rites. The purpose of the saffron is it gets into your skin and it cleans the pores of your skin, and it raises your complexion, makes you look good. And the purpose of the sandalwood is to give you a very good fragrance. So Sumitra, she starts ribbing them, right? She starts making fun with them while this is happening. But in the jokes that she's making, she's actually trying to teach them a lesson as well, right? And she's saying, you have to sit here, you have to bathe, and because life is about more than war. You're going to be going and you're going to be seeing all of these kingdoms. You're going to be meeting all of these princesses, right? And you want to be able to look good when you see them. They're telling her that, well, Guru Vashishta tell them a man is supposed to be brave. So that's what they're focused on, is being brave. And she's saying, well, it makes no sense. You have bravery without beauty. And she's talking about beauty on the inside, right? So she's trying to tell them about being able to merge both to become a complete human being.
She said, without beauty and love, life is bland and joyless.
Exactly, yes.
So later, do you want to
Oh, this is my favorite scene. No, go ahead. This is my favorite scene.
Later, when Ram is sleeping, Dashrath comes up to check on him, and he's just like watching him sleep.
Dashrath comes and he is looking at Rama, and it's like, this guy that acts as Dashrath, he has the most amazing facial expressions. So he's standing there and he's just staring away. And the funny part is, Queen Kaushalya kind of comes in from the side of the screen and she's kind of looking at him like, what are you doing? And very slowly she looks at Rama sleeping on the bed, and she looks at him like, what's happening here? It was the funniest thing I've seen.
So, yeah, Kaushalya comes up and taps him on his shoulder and is like, are you okay? What's happening? Do you want me to wake him up? And Dashrath's like, no, it's okay. And they leave. And the scene cuts to Sage Vishwamitra. He's performing Havan in the
Dandaka forest.
Yeah, in the Dandaka forest.
Mm-hmm.
And two demons named Mareech and Subahu show up, and they're looking over everyone, and they plan to disrupt the puja, and they do. And so they both say they have to stop the puja before Vishwamitra gets his new powers, because he'll end up being too strong to defeat, and they can't have that happening. So
yeah. So, I mean, even today, when we do puja, when we do yagnas, we don't necessarily do it for power, right? But what we do it for is we have something in mind that we want. So a regular puja, that's what it's for. You have a desire and you do a puja to try to achieve what it is that you need. And in this case, they're doing this puja to gain more power spiritually. And that's what they're talking about. Now, while this is going on, it is very difficult for these negative tendencies to penetrate this bubble that they are. So that is why Mareech is telling Subahu that make sure you stay far away, because if you get any closer, you could get hurt.
Mhm. So they start throwing all kinds of stuff like bones and skulls into the fire, and they're just messing up everything. And all the sages, they run away. But something that I noticed is Vishwamitra, he just stands there and he just watches for a bit as they're throwing stuff into the fire, and then he just casually just walks away. I don't like.
Yeah, so he's cool headed. Remember, we talked about Vishwamitra and the things that
Mhm.
he's been through. So he's calm, he's cool headed, and he's thinking about, okay, what is the best plan of action here? And he comes up with a plan, and then he leaves and he goes and joins the rest of rishis in the ashram.
So they just try to discuss. They try to discuss a way to stop the demons, and Vishwamitra says that he'll go to King Dashrath for help. So later he goes to the palace, and
So he's one of the things he said, right? So the rishis are telling him that you are Vishwamitra, you are so powerful, you could deal with this yourself. But he is saying that no, I am performing puja, I am performing the sacrificial havan. So which means I cannot get angry. If I get angry, it will void the entire thing. So that's another thing that we have to think about when we do puja and we do havan over here. In modern times, we need to have the proper frame of mind when we're going to do it. If you're going to be doing these things and you're upset and you're quarreling and that kind of thing, it makes no sense you're doing anything like that. So that's a good lesson for us to learn.
Mhm. So he goes to the palace, and so back in the palace, they're informed that Vishwamitra is at the gates, and they're like, you could see in their faces they were shocked. They're like, wait, what? He doesn't come here unless he has like a good reason for it. And they greet him at the door, and they bring him in, and they start washing his feet as like a form of respect.
Right. So when they say Vishwamitra is here, Vishwamitra has a bit of a reputation, right?
Yeah.
We go back to that past episode that we did about Vishwamitra and Vashishta again. He has a little bit of a reputation. So when they hear he's there, immediately, okay, Vashishta is here. I wonder if there's something happening, right? But Vashishta puts their mind at ease immediately and says, okay, he would not leave for nothing. He was there doing puja. Let's go outside and follow proper protocol and see what he's here for. So Vishishta, together with Raja Dashrath, they leave and they go outside and they meet him at the gate.
So, like I said before, they bring him in and they start washing his feet, and
so you notice that when he sits on Raja Dashrath's throne.
I didn't notice that.
Yes. So Raja Dashrath got up, gave him his own throne to sit down, and then starts to do worship. So I've heard that when these great rishis would visit these kingdoms, the kings would get up and as a gift would actually gift away their entire kingdom to these rishis. And the rishis would accept it and then give it back as a gift back to the king. That was the protocol. So that could be what we were seeing there. He got up and he gave Vishwamitra the kingdom, and he's doing puja for Vishwamitra, and then when it's done, Vishwamitra gives him back the kingdom.
Mm. Vishwamitra asks Dashrath of a wish, and Dashrath, he responds, yeah, please tell me what you wish for. And so that means like,
yeah, so Vishwamitra gives him the quick rundown about what's happening in the forest. That Tadka and Mareech and Subahu is disturbing their sacrificial rites, and he needs help. So this is when Raja Dashrath tells him, okay, whatever you need, you let me know. I'm the king, and I can provide this entire army that we could go down. We could just vanquish these demons if you want. You tell me what you want. Whatever you want, I will do.
but he says, no, that won't be necessary. The army won't be necessary. And he says, he explains all the trouble that the demons are causing. And instead of asking for that whole army and all of that, he says that he wants Ram. And Dashrath, he immediately you could see the fear on his face. He starts begging for Ram to stay, because he starts saying how he's so young and he's inexperienced with war. And all of a sudden, Vishwamitra, he just just snaps.
Yes.
He just starts.
This is what everybody was afraid of. Yeah.
He just starts yelling at Dashrath for going back against his word, and
yeah, he starts to call from the beginning of his lineage, all of the people that was there, and nobody has broken their word. And you telling me, you Dashrath, you are going to break your word to me?
Mm-hmm. His entire family was such honorable people, and he's like, "You're really gonna just go back against your word of saying that you'll fulfill this wish for me?"
Right.
So Vishwamitra goes to Vashishta and says, "You can convince him. Come on." so
yeah, this was another funny thing. So Raja Dashrath is there, and he's pleading away, and Vishwamitra just has had enough. He just turns to Guru Vashishta and he starts to address him directly, doesn't even care about what Dashrath is saying anymore.
So he goes to Vashishta and he says how you can convince Dashrath to let me do that, to let Ram go and do this. And so Vashishta says how Vishwamitra is correct, and Ram needs to do this because it could change history. Like, this is a big thing that he's gonna do.
Right. Yeah. So his point is that stop thinking about your own personal needs. Vishwamitra is thinking about the good of the entire world here. So let us focus on that.
So he finally convinces Dashrath, and he sends them to go get the princes ready. And so Ram and Lakshman, they get ready, and Dashrath, he gives them back to he gives them to Vishwamitra.
So let me ask you a question. He asks for Sri Ram to go. Why is Lakshman going?
Doesn't Lakshman he always wants to make sure that Ram is safe, right? I remember you saying that that Ram is Lord Vishnu and Lakshman is Sheshnag.
Exactly.
So and Sheshnag, yes. he's always there he's protecting Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, Shesh would not allow Sri Ram to go by himself. He will always be there to protect Sri Ram, even if he just has to stand and look. But he will always be there.
He sends them off with Vishwamitra, and the queens, they look pretty upset. They're saying how the princes they just came back with Vashishta, and they barely even got to see them, and now they're leaving to go with Vishwamitra. And Dashrath says how he tried to stop it, but he couldn't disobey sage Vishwamitra. Yeah.
So what Raja Dashrath is talking about here. So Raja Dashrath has two dharmas he has to follow. One is the dharma of a father, and the other one is the dharma of a king. The dharma of a father wants to hold his son close. He does not want to allow his son to leave. But because he's a king, that has to take priority. So this is what he's trying to explain to Kaushalya Mata. It's that I tried to stop him, but ultimately I had to let him go because this is a dharma that I am supposed to be following.
It's once he realized that was the dharma that he had to follow, he immediately became a lot more calmer. Once he was convinced that this is what I should be doing.
Guru Vashishta very skillfully steps in there, and he quiets the situation. He de-escalates, and he makes everybody see what the right thing to do is.
The scene cuts to Ram and Lakshman. They're walking with Vishwamitra to go fight the demons, and they stop walking and they notice huge footprints on the mountain. Vishwamitra says how these are the footprints of Tadka, who is the demon that rules this area.
Right, Tadka is actually a demoness. She's
demoness, yeah. So they walk closer to the area that she's in, and she gets up and she spots them. The two princes approach the demoness, and she starts shooting this toxic smoke. I have no idea what that thing was at them.
Yeah, it's some kind of toxic smoke. I'm not really sure. Didn't seem to really be affecting them.
I think it was Ram that shot an arrow, causing her to like choke, and she recovers and she tries throwing a knife, but Ram just strikes it with another arrow and it just like disappears.
Right.
After a while, Vishishta was like, "Don't waste any more time. We have to hurry before it turns night, because at night, demons get a lot more like powerful and dangerous. So they have to hurry up and kill her."
You know, that's the thing. When we were growing up, they used to tell us, don't leave the house after dark, because there's all kinds of spirits lying around. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I wonder, is that where that came from?
Ram says a mantra before shooting his last arrow, and when he shoots it, like fire forms on the end of the arrow and shooting Tadka and killing her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, so do you know who Tadka is? Have you ever heard the story of Tadka?
I think I have, but I forgot.
So, just real quickly, she wasn't always like that. She was actually cursed, and this is how she got that form, both her and her son. There was a yaksha. A yaksha is like a spirit that guards the land, right? There's a yaksha, and his name was Suketu. And he did penance to Brahma because he wanted a child. Brahma was so pleased with his penance that he appeared and he granted him a daughter. And he named the daughter Tadka. He blessed her with the strength of 1,000 elephants. From the time she was born, she was this strong. The problem was, Suketu, he really wanted a son. So as soon as Tadka was of age, he married her off. She had grown to be a beautiful and a strong woman. Eventually, she gave birth to a son, and she named the boy Mareech. Sage Agastya is one of the Saptaharishis. Just as Guru Vashishta is one of the Saptaharishis, Sage Agastya is one of them. And because of a fight between him and Tadka's husband, he killed Tadka's husband by a curse. When he did that, Tadka and Mareech became very angry, and they vowed to kill Sage Agastya. Sage Agastya saw them coming, and he immediately cursed Mareech that he would become a great and disfigured demon. And this is what happened to Mareech. This is how he became in that form that we saw him. And he also cursed Tadka and told her that she would lose her beauty. Remember, at this point, she was a beautiful girl. She would lose her beauty, and she also would be turned into an ugly and flesh-eating demon herself. So when you see her in that form, that is why she is like that. It's because of a curse that she had. And since then, since that curse, she's been terrorizing the lands. And now Sri Ram himself has come to relieve her of that curse by taking her life.
So I don't think I missed anything, right?
I believe we have it. I believe that that's it. So is there anything that stood out to you?
The way Vishwamitra just like snapped when Dashrath asked to not take Ram, like the way he just that kind of amazed me. Like even the way the actor did it, he just like he was yelling. He just snapped.
Yeah, but knowing the backstory, now you kind of understand why. Yeah, the actor. I think this actor did such a good role playing Vishwamitra.
You could see like even the way he walked, or like just the way he. He did a good job.
Yeah, for me, so there was two things for me that stood out. One was the fact that Guru Vashishta just totally forgives Vishwamitra, everything that has happened. Because in the Katara we did, the last one of the things I didn't mention was Vishwamitra actually curses the sons of Vashishta as well. Right, because the sons of Vashishta did not want to participate in the yagna to raise Tirsanku up to the heavenly realms, and because they didn't want to, he cursed them. So this is something that he could have held in mind against Vishwamitra, and he didn't. He has totally forgiven Vishwamitra, and he's doing this because all that you see happening is happening for the greater good, and he understands that. And the next thing that stood out to me was Raja Dashrath. Although he doesn't want to let Shri Ram go, he does it because this is his dharma as a king. He puts aside his own personal feelings and he says, this is my dharma, this is what I'm supposed to do. So, Rama, go. What's your favorite part?
Okay, so when Ram and Kaushalya saw each other, they just had this moment where they were just like staring at each other, and I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah,
and
that was very nice.
And right when Vishishta said to go bow to her feet, Ram immediately just went and did it.
Yeah,
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Well, for me, I feel kind of bad about what I have here now. I have, when they were going into the forest, I just enjoyed the scenery. That as they were walking by and you were seeing the... And here's the thing, right? They're going into the forest and they're showing you they're walking into the forest, right? There's all the bushes there. There's the trees there. There's a lake there. There's a river there. And in my head, I'm looking at them thinking, how did they power the cameras to tape this? Because this is back in the 80s, right? And I don't know if we had battery-powered cameras back then. So I'm looking at like, they have a generator close by. And this is how my brain works. I'm trying to figure out the mechanics of it. But I did like the scenery as they were walking. And to me, I'm thinking, this is one of the best parts of the show. And right after that, they give us these crazy visual effects. I am looking at these things and I'm thinking, come on, guys, we could have done better than this. So if I had to say what I disliked, that's what it would be. I mean, you look at the makeup on Tadka and the teeth is actually falling out of her mouth and that kind of thing. We could have done better than that. Come on, this is India. We make all kinds of stuff. You know, the greatest country on earth. And, you know, that's the kind of visual effects that we're going to have. Come on. So how about you?
Something I disliked was how Ram had to leave with Vishwamitra so quickly. Like I know it had to happen in order for the story to move on, but still that was like I thought it would have been nice if he could have at least spent like a little bit more time. Yeah,
it's like immediately as soon as he gets back, he has to go again. But I think, you know what, it's going to slow down. It has to slow down because I think the series itself is like 72 episodes. And this is only number 4. And they're already finished with Gurukul and everything. And he's already actually killed Tadka. Right? At some point, we're going to have to slow down and take it in smaller bites than these big bites that we're seeing. So it's coming. It's got to be coming. So with that, we've come to the end of today's review. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining in, for listening in. Please don't forget to rate and review the program on the service of your choice. And until next time, Jai Shri Ram. This has been a presentation of the Hindu Pod. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and rate this episode, since it helps to bump us up in the feeds, which helps others to find the podcast. Please send comments to thehindupod@gmail.com. That's thehindupod@gmail.com. You can text us at 281-804-9616 or just search Facebook for The Hindu Pod. If you live in the Houston area, you can find us on most Sundays at the Sanatan Dharam Mandir for Sunday morning satsang. They are located at 12918 Player Street, Houston, Texas 77045 and are open Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. If you would like to support the pod financially, we are sponsored by HinduHandcrafts.com. That's HinduHandcrafts.com. Please visit HinduHandcrafts.com for Hindu religious-based items such as framed pictures, wall plaques, tapestries, t-shirts, clocks, and so on. They are perfect for puja use and home decor gifts. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram.